Hey everybody, my name is Debbie, and this will be a level 1 Vinyasa flow. So we're going to keep it pretty simple, but it is an hour long. So pace yourself. If you need to take breaks, that's totally fine. If at any time it feels like any pose is too much for you, definitely back off, and we can modify as needed. Okay, so there's no pressure to do any part of this perfectly. What's most important is that you do what you can at your own pace and really listen to your body. And that's always your best teacher. So let's begin. You're going to need to have a couple blocks. You can also use books or soup cans if you don't have blocks and a blanket. The blanket you can fold either twice in half or you can put it in a trifold. Just depends on how much of a lift you would like. But I like to sit up on the blanket. It really helps to uh, feel my sit bones against the blanket. It also helps to make sure that my back is staying straight and kind of puts all that pressure out of the low back where we're kind of, normally sitting with our shoulders slumped in that position. Um, but like I said, sit on your blanket and then sitting up nice and tall. I'd like for you to close your eyes. And before we begin to move, we want to turn that awareness in and start to fine tune that inner awareness. So just take a moment just to experiment with being a witness in your own body. Breathe a little bit here. Just feel that breath. And then noticing how your body feels without having to analyze it or judge it or change it. Just noticing, sitting back and feeling your body. And then also noticing how your energy is today. Just acknowledging that without having to change how your energy is or analyze it or judge it. And then finally, and sometimes most consequentially, how's your mind? It's always a little crazy, but what degree of crazy are we talking about today? Just acknowledge that maybe you're kind of really all over the place mentally. Maybe you're very busy in the mind. Or maybe it's a choir day, and just acknowledge that again. And the reason is we want to take a moment before we begin to just acknowledge the threshold at which we stand. And then we can walk forward from there skillfully and in an educated way. So I'd like you to just begin by taking a couple breaths. We're not going to focus right now on how long that breath is for or where that breath is coming from and going to. We're just going to take a moment to just breathe in silence. Now, with your eyes closed, exhale all of the breath out of your nose. And keeping your mouth closed, inhale through your nose for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then exhale through your nose for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Again. Inhale, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 5, 4, 3, 2. Inhale all the way into your upper ribs. Exhale, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Great job. Keep sitting up really tall. Inhale, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good job. Okay, that's pranayama, and that's working with the breath. So now you can open your eyes. Just let them flutter open, nice and easy, and you can experiment. Do your best at maintaining that 5 count breath throughout the whole practice. Okay, so you can rock yourself off of your blanket, and we'll start on our backs. So also, you'll need a strap, or you can use a scarf or a belt if you're at home. But if you don't have one handy, let me know and I can grab one for you. Okay, and so you don't even need it quite this long, but I'd like for you to lie on your back to start. And everything that we are going to do today will be made easier by this little sequence. And this is something that you can do every day. Lie on your back and just let the whole body fall into the earth. Let your back body fall into the earth so that you feel supported. And walk your feet together and really extend the legs away from the belly. Flex your feet. And then draw your right knee into your chest. Grab your right foot with your strap And extend your right leg upwards towards the sky. Now, both legs are super engaged and strong. So that left leg is awake and the left foot is flexed, and there's a big, big stretch happening in the back of the right thigh there. Couple more breaths here. So a lot of us have chronic low back pain. Once we get the hamstrings to open up a little bit, we get some flexibility in the backs of the legs. The back pain tends to lighten up. You're going to open the right leg out to the right, okay? Now, if the floor is quite far away, which it very well may be, you're going to use your block and put your ankle or even your thigh on the block so that you're supported. So you're not just hanging in space. All right. Feel that stretch. And then you're going to keep extending out through your left leg. Very good. Yeah, if you want to put that strap up more towards the ball of the foot. Right, perfect. Excellent job. Good job. And you can put that block right here on the upper thigh. Right. Very good. And, okay. Now you can also put that block up on a higher level. Very good. So if it feels like you're dragging the left hip to the left, just take a deep breath here through the inner hamstring. Very good. And whether you're on your block or not, and you're lengthening that right sit bone down away from your right shoulder, remember that 5 count breath. And then when you're ready, hoist that leg back up. Very good. Now you're going to release the strap and bend the right knee. Good job. You're going to take your right elbow inside the right knee and grab the outside edge of your right foot with your right hand, and then press the knee towards the floor. Very good. I'll take a breath here. And remember that 5 count breath, that 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Excellent job. So this is a half happy baby, and it's a big, big hip opener and hamstring and groin opener as well. So deep breath here. Very good. And then, if you have quite a bit of body awareness already, you're going to pull down on that foot, but then also push into the foot at the same time. So the hand and the foot resist each other, and you'll feel that stretch of freedom in the pelvis and space in the low back on the right side. Deep breath. Good job. And then hug your right knee and your chest. And extend your right leg out and really reach that right leg out. And just take a moment to notice the difference between the right and the left side. Very good. If you can feel any difference there. And we'll stay here for a moment, noticing that difference from the right side to the left side of our body. And maybe you feel it, maybe you don't. Some people don't. And again, like I said before we move on to the other side, this is something that you can repeat every day, and you'll feel those differences. Good job. You're going to grab your strap and drag your left knee in and lasso your foot with that strap. Same thing, extend the legs away from each other, away from your pelvis. And this can be very intense, this stretch, like super intense. So you never want any sharp or shooting pain in yoga. But if you feel achiness, like intense achiness, it's okay. Sorry to say, that's a stretch. And over time, and if you do this in particular every day, very quickly, the body can change, okay? But it needs its moments and each part of the sequence to acclimate and then to change. And beware of letting the shoulders up off the floor. There you go. Let the heads of your arm bones drop back so they're shoulder blades. Very good, yeah. Yeah, they're firmly into the back of the heart. Okay, great job. Okay. Another breath here. And directing your outer left hip towards your inner right heel to lengthen the left side body. And then if you know you need your block, get it handy a while. Place it in the same area where you were using it when we opened up the right side. Great job. Now you're going to bring your left foot out to the left and bring your ankle to the block or the upper thigh. Deep breath. Good job. That's really good. Yeah, very good. That length is perfect. So keeping both legs engaged And you can experiment. Maybe after a few breaths, you can turn the block to a lower level. And then over time, you might not need the block. But definitely use these props as needed. You know, I like to say we try to cut out all this optional suffering in this life. So if your prop, if your block, if it helps to lessen your suffering, use a prop. That's your first lesson of yoga. Very good. And then take your right hand, your right hip, and widen the right hip away from the left hip. And then hoist in that left leg to remove this strap. Then the left knee, take the arm inside the leg, and then you'll just snake the left hand outside the left foot and ground the left thigh bone down. Very good. Very good. Remember that 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And if your thigh bone is way up here, that's okay. Eventually it'll come down and you're extending your right thigh away from you still. And then feel for if you want a little extra, like if you're already on the edge, just hold steady if you have a little extra play. Great job. Now press the hand and the foot into each other. So there's some resistance and that will deepen the stretch. 5 count, inhale, and 5 count, exhale to the best of your ability, all the way through this practice, okay? Good job. Do that. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Excellent job. Feel that nice stretch. And to release, just extend the left leg out. Pause here for a moment. I can move the strap out of the way and just roll the thigh bones in and out, in and out, in and out. And then draw your knees in towards your chest and hug your knees. You can rock left and right, just little rocks. Job. Little rocks, left and right, left and right. And then crossing your ankles, rock up to sit. Have your blocks nearby, okay? And I'll call out these blocks whenever you may need them. And if you don't need them, you don't use them. Okay, let's come to standing at the front end of the mat. You can place your blocks in front of your feet, okay? Feet are just about hip distance apart. Very good. And you're going to press down through all 4 corners of the feet. And what does that mean? I'm going to show you the bottom of my foot. So here, these 4 points, 1, 2, 3, and 4. You want to have energy coming out of that foot. You may even be able to ground down in your feet while still lifting up your toes. And everything's centered up. The heart lifts through the crown of the head. Inhale, reach your arms up and lift out of your side body. Good job. Exhale, float for the flat back. You may need to bend your knees. If you need to bend your knees to touch the floor to use your blocks with straight legs. And as long as you're feeling a stretch in the back of the legs, you're onto something good. So use your blocks if you need them, and then step back to downward facing dog. Very good. And it might take you 2 or 3 steps to come all the way back and plant your hands. So let's set up in downward dog here for a second. Let's make sure everything's right. So in our downward dog, our hands are shoulder distance apart. And then the feet, as they scoop back, are hip distance apart. Okay, and you may feel like, oh, I need to bend my knees a little bit. My heels are way up off the floor. Do your best you can to press the front of the legs back into the back of the legs and sink the heels towards the floor. And your heels may not touch the floor for many, many years. And I often work with my heels off the floor anyway, because it just gives me a little more space. So no big deal. But look at those heels. And make sure the inner and outer heel disappear so that they're not turned in, they're not turned out. All you see is the top of the foot. You don't see the heel at all. And then you want to draw an imaginary line from the second toe to the center of the ankle to the center of a needle in the center of the body. So everything's really centered and you find that long line of energy. And your hands, like I said, they're shoulder distance apart, but they're also turned out a little bit. So they're not straight, they're turned out a little bit so that the crease of the wrist, this part right here, it's in line with the front edge of your mat, approximately. Not exact, but you're looking for that crease right here in our wrist to be in line with the front edge of the mat, not kind of turned in at a diagonal. And then you're in downward facing dog. So you're just in an upside down V pose. You're in the shape of a V, upside down. And then inhale forward to plank. Now heels are over the balls of my feet. My hips are just as high as my shoulders, and belly is pulled in. There's no saggy back. The belly is pulled in, the thighs are lifted, you're lengthening your tailbone, and you look forward to open your heart. This is your plank pose, okay? You can put your knees on the floor. This is also plank pose. Very good. And then we're going to bend the elbows and come all the way down to the belly. As you come down, keep the shoulders lifted. They never dip like this. This is no, okay. Keep the shoulders lifted, untuck the toes, lengthen your tailbone a little bit, and lift the heart a little bit. This is cobra pose. Then exhale, press back through the hands and knees. Tuck your toes, downward facing dog. Okay, let's do that twice more. Inhale, plank. Exhale, bring your knees to the floor. Bend your elbows, keeping the shoulders away from the floor as you come down. Untuck your toes, lengthen your tailbone. Inhale, lift the heart just a little bit. Exhale, press back. Pull the belly towards the spine, tuck your toes downward, downward facing dog. Inhale forward to plank. Exhale, bring your knees to the floor, chaturanga. Bend the elbows, keep the shoulders away from the earth, and untuck the toes. Inhale to cobra. And some of you might come up a little higher, no pressure. Then exhale, pull the belly button back towards the spine. Take the thigh bones back in the hips. Very good. And into our downward facing dog. Inhale, lift your right leg up and back. And depending on your hamstrings, that right leg might lift a little or a lot. And the exhale, if you wanted to kind of square your hips in a little bit. Very good, good. And then exhale, bring the right foot through. If you get stuck halfway, that's totally normal. Just grab your right ankle with your right hand and step it forward. Bring your left knee to the floor, untuck your left toes, and inhale. Reach your arms up. This is low lunge. Then lift the heart, but let the shoulder blades slide down the back. Very good. Very good. You want to try to bring those thigh bones in towards each other so that your pelvis squares forward for the front of your mat. Very good. Exhale your hands to the floor. Step back to plank pose. So to do that, tuck your left toes and lift your left knee. Very good. Now step your right foot back to your left. Look forward a little bit. The belly is engaged. Now you can bring your knees to the floor, or you can try it without knees on the floor. Chaturanga, all the way down. And the body moves in one plane. Roll the shoulders back, lift the heart, and the head goes up a little bit. You don't throw it back, okay? Exhale, release, and press back to downward facing dog from hands and knees to hips high, upside down V. Inhale, float your left leg up and back. Exhale, float your left foot forward between your hands. Bring your right knee down. Take your time to untuck the toes. Look forward and then press down into the left foot to reach up. High lunge. Check your left knee. Make sure it's not collapsed in or out. It will always be in line with the second and third toe, okay? The bent knee is always pointing in the same direction as the second and the third toe. Very good. Yep. Bring that in just a little bit. Perfect, perfect. Exhale, bring your hands down. Lift your right knee, downward facing dog. Step all the way back down. Pause here. Inhale, forward plank. Engage your belly. Bring your knees to the floor or stay straight as you lower down. Chaturanga. Inhale to cobra. Very good. You can have a little cobra, medium cobra, high cobra. No crunching in the lower back though, okay? So exhale downward facing dog. Press back. Deep breath here. Firming shoulder blades into your ribs. Good job. Okay, inhale, lift your right leg up and back. Exhale, float your right foot forward. Help your foot forward if you need to. And then coming to high lunge now, so the left leg is straight. And the way to come up in a way that feels stable is to push the feet down. Bring your arms back by your side as you come up, and then reach the arms up. And this is high lunge. Okay, a little deeper. Find that 5 count breath. The hands can be shoulder distance apart, and there's a lot of length in the side body. Look, a lot of rising. So the pelvis goes down, but the spine rises up. Very good. Remember that 5 count breath. Good job. And then on your exhale, hands find the floor, step back to downward facing dog. Pause here. And inhale forward to plank, super strong legs. That'll help so much. Exhale to chaturanga, come all the way down. Keep the shoulders away from the floor. Inhale right into cobra, shoulders back and down. Exhale, press back to the knees. Untuck the right toes, downward facing dog. Deep breath. I promise you by now, your hamstrings are already opening up a little bit. In all these down dogs, even if it doesn't feel like it. Inhale your left leg up and back, and exhale your left foot forward. Help it through. You need to come on your fingertips, press down through your feet, look forward. In case you're already halfway there, press the feet down. Lengthen the tailbone, arms back up you go, and then, okay, high lunge. And the left knee's bent. It is right over the heel. It is not in the front of the heel. All right. And then you can feel for squaring the hips by drawing the outer left thigh back in towards the pelvis so the hips are square. Yep. Bring that left thigh back. Oh, there you go. Perfect. Very good. Then you open the belly, you open the heart, and you reach the arms in a way that's strong but fluid. Okay, we never want to get rigid in our practice. Very good. Hands down, downward facing dog. Step back and drag the left foot back with you. Breathe here. Inhale. Good job. Now inhale forward to plank. Heels reach back. Heart reaches forward. Chaturanga. Inhale, cobra. Take the upper arm bone straight back. Exhale, downward facing dog. Go back. Inhale, lift your right leg up and back. And exhale, float your right foot forward. Okay, so this time we're going to get into Virabhadrasana 2, or warrior 2 pose. So turn your left heel down so that the left toes are pointing towards the left side edge of your mat, and you'll windmill the arms up. So the left arm goes up and back, right arm goes forward. And here you are. Okay, so you can find your own graceful way into the pose and essentially want the top rim of the pelvis parallel to the floor. So what's common? Is this right? There's a dip here. So instead you want this. So everybody look here and check that out for yourself. The right knee is over the right heel. It's pointing in the same direction as that second and third toe. It's not pointing in towards the big toe, but it's towards the second and third toe. Very good. And then press the feet down and away from each other. Another deep breath. If you feel that this knee's collapsed in, take a shorter stance. Heel toe that in. And that'll give you a little more play. Okay? Another deep breath here. Spine is vertical and straighten your right leg. Very good. Now you may need to step your left foot in an inch or so. Okay? Bring your left hand to your left hip, your right hand to your right thigh. The right leg is straight, but it's not locked, okay? It's unlocked. Then you're going to slide your right hand down your right leg to about your shin, and then press the shin up into the hand and the hand into the shin. So that engagement and exchange of energy between the hand and the leg will unlock the knee and charge the hamstring and the calf. Then reach your left arm up to Trikonasana, our triangle pose. If you're more flexible, the hand can come to the floor, or if you want to be a little more stable, you can come to a block once you've gotten that. Fire in the right leg, okay? And then lengthen the right ribs away from the right hip. Take the right seat back and lengthen from tailbone through crown of head. You can look up at your left hand, or you can just look forward if that feels better on your neck. Deep breath. This is also a big hamstring opener. And a hip opener. Good. If you want to extend those fingers a little straighter ahead, you can heel toe that foot back in too. Kind of create a shorter stance. And then Do you want to use your block to get a little bit there? Perfect. Let's put that block right here. That seems to work really good for you. Now inhale up and go to press down in the feet. Exhale, bend your right knee back to warrior two. Bring the right forearm to the right thigh and reach your left arm over your left ear. Good. And you feel this line of energy that goes from the left heel all the way to the spine and the crown of the head on a diagonal. And the whole left side edge of the body is extended. Then take your shoulders back and down, turn your heart up, and release. You're going to bring your left hand down, come onto the ball of your left foot, and then step back into downward facing dog, and we'll all meet there. And deep breath. You know, in the beginning, it's nice to exhale out of your mouth sometimes, because when we're learning and we're trying hard, we tend to get a little rigid. So we can exhale out of the mouth and let any holding on just go. So, all right, inhale, float your left leg up and back. Exhale, use your belly to pull the left foot through. Spin your right heel down so the right toes are pointed toward the right edge of your mat. And then inhale up. Warrior two. And find your way up. The left knee is directionally over your left heel. Legs are moving away from each other. Arms are moving away from each other. Check your pelvis that it's not tilted to the left. So you lift the left hip. Spine is vertical, and here we are, warrior two. You can turn the gaze over your left finger, draw the low belly in, a little bit there, very good, draw that low belly in. Very good. Take those front ribs in. Yep, the sit bones go down a little bit. Okay, one more breath. And then slowly straighten your left leg. Step your right foot in a little bit. If you feel like you need to contain a little bit, bring your right hand to your right hip, your left hand, your left leg, and trace down the left leg. Good job. Find the middle of the left shin and lift the shin into the hand and the hand into the shin. Resist that, okay? So you're just going to sink into the left leg. And if you're a hyperextender, your left knee, you're going to bend that a little bit. And then if you don't do that, if you hyperextend, you're not going to like yoga too much anymore. So lift the shin into the hand and engage that leg a lot. And then turn to the right and to lift that belly up. Turn the right shoulder up and reach the right arm. And then keeping that left leg really active, either put your hand on your block or on the floor. Press the feet down and away from each other. And that will help you open up the spine a little bit into a longer line. Big breath. Remember that 5 count in and 5 count out. Experiment with the lengthening of that left side body. Good job. Very good. And then you have to press down, down, down into the feet. Push down into the feet to come up. Inhale. Exhale, bend your left leg. Same thing. Where we draw in, where we're left, your left thigh, and reach your right arm up and over. And your warrior two. Okay. Very good. So take that left seat in a little bit. So you want to get your booty in without taking the pelvis forward. Okay, so there's that softness in both the front and the back body. One more breath here. Great job. Exhale, hands to the floor. Come onto the ball of the right foot and step back to downward facing dog. Inhale forward to plank pose. And extend the legs super strong. Like they're just lines of energy coming from your core. Stay here for a breath. Inhale. Exhale, chaturanga. Come all the way down. Inhale to your cobra pose. It helps if you can really spread your pinky toenails into the floor. That'll help release your low back. And exhale, downward facing dog. Press back. Good job. Inhale, lift the right leg up and back. Exhale, bring your right foot through. Bring your right foot to the floor and your left knee to the floor. And then reach your arms up. Low lunge. You can have the toes tucked to take pressure off that knee if you're feeling any. Or if you feel fine with the toes untucked, you can go with that. They're both legal. Bring your hands to your heart, draw the belly back a little bit, and then twist to your right. Now the trick here is that the right knee is going to want to collapse in, but you don't let it. Press the left arm into the right leg and the right leg into the left arm and turn. And keep it very simple. Don't overdo it. Breathe into the sides of your ribs, shoulder blades back and down, and exhale. Look at the floor. Bring your hands to the floor. Step back to downward facing dog. Good job. Take a couple of those 5-count breaths, inhales and exhales. If you need to, feel free to go down to a child's pose and then just rejoin us whenever you're ready. Inhale your left leg up and back. Exhale your left foot forward. Bring the right knee down, low lunge. Inhale to rise. First, create a lot of length in that side waist. Feel the foundation really stable. And then hands to your heart. So this is where the right and the left meet that new spin on the central axis towards the left. Your thumbs are to your heart, heart to thumbs. Press the arm and leg into each other, draw the belly back, and don't overdo it. There's no need to overworking any pose. We've researched it, don't worry. Another breath. If you breathe into the sides of the ribs, it's a little easier to catch breath. Stay here for another breath or two. Feel that stretch. And then exhale, hands to the floor, downward facing dog. Go back. Inhale to plank. Exhale, chaturanga, all the way down. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Go back. Inhale. Lift your right leg up and back. Exhale, float your right foot forward. Okay, now straighten your right leg. You'll most likely need blocks here, and you can turn them all the way up. Straighten in the right leg. Spin your left heel so your feet are hip distance apart. Your right foot is in line with the right side body. Your left foot is in line with the right side body, okay? You're not on a tightrope. Okay, inhale, take the top of the right thigh bone back and lift the belly forward, and then exhale, fold over the right leg. So that may just look like this. That is great. If you're feeling a stretch in your hamstrings, then you're good. But maybe you take the blocks lower over time. No block. Shift your whole pelvis to the left a little bit and remove the blocks. Bend the right knee so you can touch down into downward facing dog. Good job. We'll stay here for a couple breaths. Good job. Now really feel the difference between your left and your right hamstrings. Yeah. Inhale your left leg up and back. Exhale your left foot forward. Get your blocks straight. Your left leg, step your right foot in and ground your right hip, okay? Take that outer left hip back and in so that the hip bones are square. They're not torqued. Inhale, lift the belly off the thigh, and then exhale. Fold into that space. Hands on the floor or the blocks. And what you want to avoid is this really round back, and that will hurt your back over time. So let's get up out of this ground, and the more you can keep the front of the spine open, the better for your back in every way. And the deeper the stretch too, the hamstring, okay? Good job. Good job. Excellent. Okay, bend your left knee so you can touch into your downward facing dog and go back. Another deep breath here. Widen the shoulders away from the ears. Good job. Widen those shoulders a little bit away from the ears. Good job. Good job. And then bring your knees to the floor and coming to a child's pose. So you can take your knees wide, bring your forehead to the floor and rest. Rest your shoulders, rest your legs, deepen your breath. And walk your hands back towards your knees. Good job. And then inhale to rise up, sitting on your heels. And we're going to grab our strap again. And I'll show you this from the side first. So you're going to grab your strap with like a tail about this long. And you're going to reach your right arm up, then bend your right elbow and bring your right hand towards the back of your heart. Then reach your left arm out, turn the thumb down and keep internally rotating like you're turning a doorknob. Keep that and bring the left hand toward the back of the heart and catch the tail. Okay, pause here. If you can catch hands, catch hands. Okay, but mostly we cannot do that in the beginning, so deep breath and release. Stay here for a few moments. And now you're just going to switch hands. So have the tail with your left arm up, bend your left elbow, bringing the hand toward the back of the heart, and take your take your right thumb up and down, 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 down. Keep internally rotating as you walk the hand back toward the back of the heart. Hold on to the tail. And every time you work on walking the hands closer and closer together to find a little more space, this can be a very challenging shoulder opener. So if it feels like you're really, really stuck, don't worry. It will open up, and it's challenging even for advanced practitioners. So don't be discouraged, is all I can say. Take another big breath. Okay, and release. Let that go. Well done. Okay, so come forward on your belly, all the way down to move your blocks out of the way. Bring your elbows under your shoulders. Okay. Palms down. Elbows under shoulders. Forearms and palms are down. Walk your legs together. Spread your toes so there's no rolling out of the legs. And you want to squeeze your inner ankles in towards each other. Elbows right under the shoulders for Sphinx pose. Lift the heart. Take the arm bones back. And the spine just gets to hammock towards the earth here. And then the last thing is to take your sit bones towards your heels. So there's a little bit of an engagement in the low belly, and it almost feels like you're drawing your pubic bone towards your belly button, and you'll feel how that widens the low back. And then rest your forearms to your hands and relax. That 5 count breath. Okay, now you're gonna reach your hands behind you and see about clasping your hands. If you're not able to catch your hands yet, just work from here. It is all good, okay? Or you can grab your strap and hold on to that too. That's even better. All right. Otherwise, clasp hands. Inhale, lift the head and the heart. Keep the hands moving back towards the feet and lift. Just try to walk your ribs for a little bit and lift up. Whisper in, a little higher. And release. Rest your forehead on your hands. Get your hands under your shoulders, press back into downward facing dog. So down dog is also a great neutralizing pose. It's why we use it so much. It's why we do it so much. Let the spine hang down, rest the spine, and it's sort of like a reset button. Then come forward to plank pose, pause, knees to the floor, cross your ankles and roll on your back now. Roll on your back and have your block handy. Just need one now. Great job. So lying on your back, your heels are sit bones distance apart, so they're not way out to the side, okay? And then so are your knees. So it's common to let your knees like fall out. You don't want to do that. So that's going to narrow your lower back. So the thigh bones essentially are coming straight out of the hip socket as they want to turn your face up. And yeah, very good, very good. So already the heart's open. And for somebody this is already a shoulder opener. You can feel a stretch in the upper chest and then press down through your feet and lift up. You want your toes pointing straight towards the front edge of your mat. Again, notice the knees. Pull them in towards each other a little bit. Press the feet down and lift the hips up. Lift a little higher. Lengthen the sit bones away from the heart. Good job, and release. Rest here. Now we're going to do 3 waves up and down, and I find that this is a little bit of a friendlier way to open up the spine. So it goes like this. You inhale, reach the arms up, and as the hips rise and you exhale, everything comes down. Okay? Do that 3 times. Inhale up, exhale down. Inhale up at the top. The inhale, pause, exhale down. Inhale up and exhale down. Inhale up, exhale down like a wave. Okay, rock your pelvis left and right, and then this time, bring your elbows onto the floor and your fingers up towards the sky. So the elbows are bent at 90 degrees like robot arms. And walk your arm bones in, your shoulder blades in as close to each other as you can. So you're like tucking in, tucking yourself in, really snuggle in here, okay? And then pressing the elbows, keep your feet pointing straight ahead, same pose. Lift your hips, and then walk your elbows in a little closer towards each other. And that'll help with that external rotation of the arm bones. And then when you've walked your elbows in as close as they'll go, then you can attempt to clasp hands underneath. Route the outer arm bones down. Good job. Your neck should be easy. The eyes are easy. Go up a little higher. A little higher. And then exhale, release. Let everything go, okay? So it's hard to know where your thighs and your knees are in that pose because you can't see. So we're going to do one more thing, and this is just to really help with a healthy back bend. It'll also strengthen the inner thighs, and it's just super therapeutic. It's a little harder, so not doing it, it's hard, but it's going to serve as well. So put the block between your inner thighs, okay? Or in this case, you're going to need a book, or you can even use one of a folded towel, something that you can grab onto. Now the knees are set in the right place. They're hip distance apart from the shoulder blade, and the shoulder blades towards each other. Tickle your heels with your fingertips so you know that they're in the right place, and then inhale, lift up without losing the block. If you can clasp your hands, and lift up a little higher. Feel the whole front of the body open. And these back bends they're such good medicine. They're such good medicine. The heart opening, it will change your life. Inhale here. Very good. Keep holding on. Exhale, release. Okay, good job. Good job. Release the block. Now take your feet as wide as your mat and let your knees fall together. Reach your arms overhead with your palms facing up and just rest your body. Take it super easy. You can rock your head left and right, just like any tension in the neck or the jaw fall away. Exhale out your mouth once in a while. Rock the hips towards center. Five count breath. Take another deep breath here and then walk your feet back towards hip distance apart. Bring your right ankle to your left thigh, okay? For some, this is already kind of a big hip opener. You can feel a little pressure there. Keep your right foot flexed, okay? If you feel like you got a little space to move, bring the left knee in towards your chest. Hold on to the back of the left leg or a little deeper. If you want to go a little deeper, you can clasp your hands around the left shin and you're drawing the right in towards your heart, keeping the right foot flexed. And then energetically, you're just moving the right thigh away just a little bit. Okay, what I don't want is any like major rounding in the spine like this, okay? Head and shoulders are down. Release the left foot down, release the right foot down, pause. Bring your left ankle then over to your right thigh. Okay. Otherwise, you just keep the foot on the floor. Keep your left foot flexed, shoulders back and down, and breathe wide into the left hip. So this is not only a hip opener, but it will release your back after those back bends, okay? Good job. Okay, fully inhaling and exhaling through the nose. Collarbones are wide, and then bring your right foot down. Good job. Bring your left foot down. Pause here. Remember that 5 count breath. Practice that a few times. Good job. And draw your knees in towards your chest. Hug your knees. Cross your ankles and rock yourself forward all the way up. Might take a couple of rocks. And then back to downward dog, your good old friend. So step back, step back. Hips go up and back, body goes long. Take 2 breaths here. So the backs of the legs lengthen and widen. Feel the side body lengthen. And press the hands forward and away from you. Five count breath. Feel free to take one of those deep breaths we did earlier out the mouth. Last exhale here. Then come forward to plank pose. Exhale, knees to the floor, sit back. And coming into a twist, first, extend your legs out in front of you. This is called a Dandasana. Hands can come behind you to lift your heart and open the front of your spine, okay? If you feel like you're like here again, which is totally common, get your blanket again and just sit on it. So watch you go from here, we sit on the blanket, and then you rock the pelvis forward like that, okay? Draw your right knee into your chest and pause. Then step your right foot outside of your left leg, okay? Be sure not to lock the left knee here. Bring your right hand behind you. Raise your left arm up, 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 and then reach your left arm back. Keep the heart open as you twist to the right. Then wrap your left arm around your right leg, draw the right leg in, and twist to the right, keeping the left foot flexed. Keeping the shoulder blades moving towards each other. Really bringing that right shoulder back. So it's sometimes we have that right hand way up way too far and then we're sinking again. Bring that right hand in and use it like a kickstand to take the back of the spine up into the front of the spine and turn. Deep breaths. These twists are very, very good for the abdominal organs, for the digestive system. Twists also bring us a lot of mental clarity as well. Good job. Now we'll look forward and exhale. Just twist to your left one time for one breath. Keep the spine long and release. Right goes out. Left leg comes in. Step your left foot outside your right thigh, okay? Bring your left hand behind you with your right arm up to get up out of the pelvis. Then reach your right arm back and open the chest. Notice what does that feel like to all that in all that space? That turn to your left. Keeping your collarbones wide as you hold on to the left leg with the right hand. So what we're avoiding is this is no good. We want to open the chest, keep the heart open and turn. So see me doing this. If you find yourself doing that, instead do this so we can keep the heart open and turn to the left. And then circling the outer left hip towards the earth, lifting the left hip, ribs up, and then twist. Four, five count breaths of yours. And keep doing that 5 count breath. You'll become much more skillful at that over time. And that's what's really good is that we start to breathe like that in our daily life. And it's just so good for our nervous system. And it reduces the stress response in general. So we get sick less, we live longer, and we're happier. So inhale through center, exhale. Go to your right for one breath, really easy, and then release here. Okay, so now let's take the legs wide into a straddle, and you can stay lifted on your blanket, or you can even come up onto your block. So if you feel really stuck in this pose, sit on a block here and just be sure you're not dumping into your knee. You got to keep your knees supple, okay? And then in that case, you'll be here even less. Just know it's already going to be a huge stretch, okay? So if you're a little less flexible, it's fine. Either way, find a way to get tall as you inhale, and then you keep all that openness in the front body as you come forward. So instead of letting the pelvis fall down, you keep the inner and outer thighs moving towards the earth equally. So you don't let them roll in, dropping your pelvis, and you keep the legs as they are. And then you come down in your straddle. And everybody's edge looks different. So you just get close to the edge, but then you stop before you hit it. And it looks different for everyone, but it feels the same. So my edge and your edge feel the exact same way, and it's the exact same experience. It just looks different. Okay? So take your time to slowly walk yourself out nice and easy, and then grab your inner knees. Help one foot in, and then the other foot in. Bring your hands back. Yep. Press your feet into each other, and then come forward and down. Just a couple of breaths here. And then for some of you, forward and down looks like this. This is also good, totally legal. Just another breath. Over time, you'll have more longer holds. Very good. Just another breath. For today, last exhale, slowly coming up. Help your knees together. Wrap your arms around your legs. And bring your forehead down to your arms and closing your eyes, turning your gaze in towards your heart. So you're in the center, you're in the core of your heart, your house. It's there for you when wherever you go, anytime, any place, you have this shelter right here. Whenever we feel that we're going in a million directions or we're overwhelmed in any way, we just turn in and remember ourselves, remember our courage and our heart. And then inhale, lift your head nice and easy, and exhale, rolling back to Shavasana, lying on your back. Let your arms and your legs float out. Comfortable rest now. So let the whole body fall down to whatever you need to do to be comfortable. Take a big inhale through your nose and then open your mouth. Let the breath leave the body. Close your eyes. And let the body fall back into a comfort. I will tell you when it's time to come up. So for these few moments, you need to worry about nothing. Think of nothing. Do nothing. Just let your bones of your body remember the earth and leave your body there by itself. I will instruct you when it's time to come out. Begin by wiggling your toes, wiggling your fingers, bringing life back into them. Take your arms, stretch them overhead. Extend that stretch from the tips of your fingers straight through your body and down into your toes. Stay there for a moment. When you are ready, roll onto your right side into the fetal position. Stay there for another moment. Using your left hand, push up into a seated position and join me seated in an easy seat on the mat. So I just want to once again acknowledge how appreciative I am of you guys for joining me for the 60 minutes class. You may have noticed I have on AirPods for this class. This is being recorded audio, not video, for the advanced teacher training program I just entered into. So this was one of my karma class offerings, and it's also one of my favorite classes to teach is this beginner class. So, you know, it's a true classic of mine, and I hope you guys enjoy it. I hope you see the benefit in it being a classic, a timeless 1 hour beginner Vinyasa yoga class. But thank you for giving yourself 60 minutes in your very, very, very busy Saturday to join me here today. And I look forward to seeing you again. Thank you, and namaste, everybody. I'll be around for a little bit after class for you guys. Thanks.